What's up, YouTube? For today's video, we're going to be having a look at a moveset guide for Meowscarada. This Pokemon is a very, very good starter as it has the ability Protean, and it's got a lot of great speed, attack, and even its special attack isn't all that bad. Now, if you want to see me do a Pokemon guide, let me know in the comment section of the video. And if you like this series, make sure you do drop a like there, and I always like to hear your feedback. What do you think on my movesets? Is there a moveset you reckon I should use or try out? Put it below. Let's get started on Meowscarada anyway. So looking at Meowscarada, this is my first set here. This is more of an offensive set. So we've got a physical attacker. Obviously, it's a very good physical attacker. The first thing I see is its speed. It's very, very high, 120 base. And then we've got attack, which is 110 base. So I've gone for a physical set. So we've got the Flower Trick as its main stab, which is great because it always does critical hit there. There are other options for that, but I think the Flower Trick is the best one. The only thing you have to watch is if you do come across Pokemon with like shell armor and stuff like that too. Now we've got the physical move here for it on that stab as well. If you're counting its grass and dark, of course, we're not counting the Protean, is going to be knockoff. Now knockoff is an excellent move. It does get access to other moves like Sucker Punch, which can definitely work too, but for this set, I believe that knockoff is fine. Now I've got Play Rough in here. Play Rough is quite good on this set. It's good for obviously fighting types coming in there. You know, you can hit dragon Pokemon, stuff like that. Very nice. And of course, opposing dark types too. Now, this is a bit of a fun move. I put Shadow Claw in it, which actually isn't too bad. If you go to its Terra type, you can actually give it a ghost type. So if you come across like a fighting type, you could tear yourself into a ghost type and get around stuff like that. Could be very beneficial. Now, obviously, we've got Protean as a ability. It's only got Overgrown Protean. Protean is very good, you know. It's such a great ability, and you can make use of a lot of different moves. You don't have to stick to its grass and dark moves like I have, but I feel these moves are pretty good. Now, as for items here, I've gone with Life Orb. Man, this could work with a lot of items. You could even try stuff like, let's say, heavy-duty boots would work very well on this. You know, you want your speed and things like that. You don't want any entry hazards and stuff hitting you either. And you could also opt for stuff like, you could even have lumber. That could be very handy as well. You could even go for like Choice Band. That would work nicely too. If you're going to run like one of the choice items, I'd probably be inclined, instead of Shadow Claw, I'd probably try and give it like U-turn, because that'd be really, really nice there for scouting. Even without a choice item, that can work too. Very, very fast. You can quickly scout and get some damage and go into the appropriate Pokemon. And that'll be very good with Choice Band too. So both the choice items, I'd say, will work very nicely on there as well. Looking at some of the other items, you could give it a berry. You could even give it Expert Belt too, but I believe, like, I'd say Choice Band or Choice Scarf, whatever you're running. If you're going to run Choice Band on it, you probably want to go for, you want to go for Jolly, but if you've got Choice Scarf, you can go to Adamant, because this is what I was just looking. Mainly, it's a great attacker and speed. You don't really need any other EVs anywhere on a physical sweeping set, in my opinion. So, Jolly on like a Choice Band set. In general, I'd probably use Jolly anyway, because you want that nice high speed. And you've got Protean, which will definitely make up for, its attack there, which is still pretty damn good. Now, I was thinking also, this would actually make not a bad support Pokemon. It gets a lot of support moves. So let's have a look at it. That's more of a physical attacking set. I was going through some of its other moves. There are some other cool moves that it gets there. Let's say, for example, on the physical side. So we've got like Acrobatics and Brick Break, but Acrobatics, that works better when you've got a like an item consumed, and I do have more of a meme set base around that a little bit later. I've sort of broken up to an offensive set, support, special, and a couple of memes and fun sets. I'm just having a look through some of the other moves. It does have stuff like Seed Bomb too, and Petal Blizzard. Like, Petal Blizzard is 90 base power. This is the thing, right, between Flower Trick versus Petal Blizzard. So Flower Trick is 70 base power, which always crits. What if you come across a Pokemon that has shell armor? Then, well, this is the safe option, in my opinion, the 90 base power, so you could definitely use that. So either one of those would go with your grass move very, very well. I believe you could, that's sort of pick and choose what you like there. It does have, as I said, it does have Sucker Punch too. I don't believe it really needs Sucker Punch, because there's not a lot of Pokemon that are going to outspeed this unless they're Choice Scarf and stuff like that. You're going to know what those Pokemon are anyway. It really doesn't have too much outside that for real competitive use. It does have like low kick and stuff if you're worried about being able to hit a steel type, but you're probably better off just using like knockoff and stuff like that. Another Pokemon on your party is going to be better suited for that. So you turn out or just swap or something like that. So that's pretty much it for the physical set. I think I've pretty much countered anything that's going to work well on the physical set. Having a look at support, this is a bit of fun, I know, but I have to notice it does get quite a few support moves like spikes and toxic spikes, which is, fairly unusual for a physical sweeper. So we've got spikes and toxic spikes. Now, they work great with Protean because you can change yourself into a ground type and then a poison type. So that's kind of nice. I've given this one Flower Trick and Sucker Punch. The reason I did Sucker Punch this time is because I've actually built a real bulky set here. Now, it might not look the greatest there, but even with 120 base, it still gets like a good amount of speed there. I mean, you could invest a little bit more in speed if you're truly worried about that. You can give it like 80 or something like that in speed. But I made this one really tanky, so you can get a couple of these hits off. Say the opponent's brought in something that's, not super bulky, which is going to take a fairly big hit. You can go for Sucker Punch, and that's going to do a lot of damage, You've also got Flower Trick on there as well for getting those crits, but not a bad support style, like anti sort of lead there. That could definitely work. I've given it Red Card, which is going to work nicely too, so you can spread that status. Probably going for Toxic Spikes first, depending on what they've got on their team, of course. That could spread that status around nice and quick too. And maybe, put them in a bad matchup when a Pokemon swaps in. Oh, man, a bad matchup has swapped into Meowscarada. I've got to swap it out, and then, on that turn, you can go for a Toxic Spikes or Spikes, Or I'm looking through their team preview, like, maybe they're going to go into this Pokemon. Say they're going to go into, like, a Charizard or something like that, or whatever. You know what's coming, so you can easily swap yourself. Things like that. That the Red Card's quite a nice item with, entry hazard moves, I find anyway. Looking at the special side, it does have a decent special side. It's got 81, which, it's not astounding, but it does get the move Nasty Plot, which definitely makes things a lot more powerful. So looking at its special side, kind of similar to the physical move, we're going to go with Timid Nature. You want speed on this Pokemon, definitely. And I've got max speed, max special attack, and we've got Timid Nature, of course. Now, we've got Protean again. With Overgrow, competitively wise, Protean is just better in nearly every single way. I do have an Overgrow set coming up there, but mostly this is better. It's just a better ability in general, works for everything. So I've got Dark Pulse, which is nice for flinching. You got Energy Ball. Now with Energy Ball, it's always the Energy Ball versus Giga Drain for me. What I do on sweeping sets, I normally go for more base power. Plus it does have a special defense drop chance. I know it's only small, but it's got more base power, and Giga Drain is better for sustain, so I always go with Energy Ball over Giga Drain. But I know it is nice getting a little bit of health back, but sometimes if you don't go for Energy Ball over Giga Drain, you'll miss that KO, It's always that little thing, so that's how I always look at it. So for more of a support bulky Pokemon, I'll use Giga Drain versus Energy Ball on a speedy sweeper. Now, I've got Terra Blast in this, and I've also got Water. I thought this would be really a nice little surprise factor. Let's say Charizard comes in there like, oh, well, what's this going to do to me? Sucker Punch, knockoff, it's going to be able to live. But if you pull out after a Nasty Plot, of course, if you were able to pull a Nasty Plot on a swap and then go for a Water Terra Blast, that would absolutely dominate Charizard, and they wouldn't expect it, So it's a nice little surprise feature you could try out. Like, I think this special set is kind of low-key got potential. Now, you've also got, like, Aura Sphere as well. This could give you a nice fighting move to, like, let's say, incoming Steel-type Pokemon. That would be very good against that, too. And you've also got the option of using Power Gem, too. Power Gem is going to be nice against Fire-type Pokemon. So you've got quite a few options there. You've got some other sort of bad options like Chilling Water. I mean, it's not bad, but I feel that'd be better on like a support Pokemon because it really lacks the base power. You're not really sweeping with this move. It's better just to go, if you want a water move, to go like Terra Blast with the Water Terra. That'd be, kind of nice. That's pretty much it for the special set. I've got a couple of mean ones here. Once again, let me know some of your builds. I think these will work. I've already tried these out. They work great, for what the Pokemon is. Looking at its attack stat, when you do Jolly, and you've got Protean as well, of course, but it does struggle a little bit to one-shot things. So if you do, when you give it Adamant, sure, it really does hit hard, but you do give up a lot of speed. So, when you fall into that speed bracket then of not using Jolly over Adamant, you do start to get outsped and wrecked. So that's the thing. That's like the payoff there. Do you want to go first all the time? I personally think that, a speed nature on it is the best, in my opinion. Unless you've got, like, let's say for team support. Let's do a little bit of team support here, right? So this is going to draw out I'd have a fire-type Pokemon on my team for sure. Like, I mean, Charizard's not a bad Pokemon either. That would work very nicely. Say you've got a physical, you could have Charizard there. You could even have like Volcarona. That would work as well. I mean, there's quite a few sort of like little options there. You could have, I definitely have a Stealth Rock or Sticky Web support for this Pokemon if you wanted to go like Adamant. That would work very, very nicely. You got flying types as well. That could be another problem there. So you have to sort of watch out for a flying Pokemon. So a rock type Pokemon on your team like Garganacl will work really nicely there. Set up those entry hazards, be able to sponge, Brave Birds and stuff like that. That'd be a nice support Pokemon alongside the, depending on what your other Pokemon are there, of course, like a rock type always works good too. So that can sponge the fire type moves. And as for fighting, well, you can always pick a ghost type or a fairy type Pokemon as well. Like you could have something really bulky, let's say for example, do one right here on the spot for you. You can have something like Grimmsnarl. That'll work really nicely. I know you are doubling up on the dark type Pokemon, but that does have Protean. So, you could always change your type around if you really wanted to, But Grimmsnarl will work nicely as well. Just a couple little team options there. Let's have a look at some of these meme strategies here. So this is my first one. This still has potential, but it's a little bit more of a fun set and a little bit of a surprise factor. So I noticed they've got Trick, which is very nice. So Trick and Choice Specs is very nice for shutting down stall Pokemon. They loathe getting a Choice Specs, trick to them when you're going for Toxic or they're setting up. If virtually they're dead in the water after that, they don't have a lot of, offense, physical, or special offense at all. So they pretty much are destroyed if you trick that to them. So nice little bit of surprise there. And you can also turn yourself into a psychic type too, which is kind of cool. So we've got Energy Ball and Dark Pulse. I've given that's best. And I've also got Power Gem on there as well. So they're the other moves you could give it. And Energy Ball will hit fairly hard there, especially if they swapped into it, and then you for a neutral damage. That's going to do a fair bit with Choice Scarf. Not like loads and loads, but a special defensive wall might get around there. But if it's a support Pokemon, you could trick them a Choice Specs, and that would might change the course of the battle. Next one here we got. I said I want to do an Overgrow set. We got a Focus Sash Overgrow set. It's a little bit of fun, so you could probably run like. This is like priority, like quick attack as well. You could, look, another thing you could even do, like say you don't want to run like the Focus Sash, lots of entry hazards around these days. You could just go for Endure. So that way you're going to get in Overgrow range for sure. And then you could give, you could change this around, say to, you could even give it Salic or depending on what the set is, you could even give it Leechy as well, So that could definitely work at the same time as well. So we've got the double damage there on Acrobatics, which is going to be cool. And you've got a very powerful move there, and you've also got Sucker Punch on the top of that as well. So not a bad little fun set there. And Overgrow Flower Trick with a Lychee Berry up is going to be no joke. That's going to do a lot of damage. The EV spread, I've just given it speed on this one. I like to give it speed. Alternatively, if you want to do, you could even go Adamant, and then you could go like... you could go Salic Berry on there, but same diff really in my opinion. If you've got to activate that, doesn't really matter. Whatever one you actually end up going for there. So last one we got here, we're gonna go. This is a real troll set. It's a real troll set. Just if you want to just annoy someone, you might get a couple of KOs or maybe even a rage quit. We've got Bullet Seed here. Now I've got a King's Rock item. So with King's Rock, if you're like number one rule, if you're trying to flinch someone, always have max speed. Try and be as fast as possible, because it's not the amount of offense you've got, it's the amount of speed you got. Because if you've got a lot of speed, you can always hit them again if you're going to flinch them. Now, you've got Protean Bullet Seed there. So, I mean, you really hope this, obviously, it's a bit of fun. You're going for a flinch there. Now, you've also got Double Team too. You can get a couple of double teams up. You might be able to slide up a sub after a couple of misses. And you've got Low Kick for, of course, Steel-type Pokemon coming in. Depending on what format and stuff you play with, it's, Smogon or just casual singles, VGC, whatever you like there. So, that could be, a fun little set to just annoy someone, But, yeah, that's pretty much, I'm just thinking there's pretty much it there for all my Meowscarada sets. I think I've covered it. I think I've covered it fairly well. Most of the most of the movesets that you'd probably want to run. I'm just thinking of any other counters or like the way to shut this Pokemon down. How about there's so many ways. It's not very bulky. Let's say any I I'm even thinking like just fire types here. So if any like fire types would shut this down nice. There's so many like let's say for example let's pick Arcanine. You know, this is an easy counter. So Arcanine first, it's got Intimidate, which is going to really wreck you know, Meowscarada there. If you're just running like I don't know, a general sweeping set here. Let me just make something real quick. So you know, Arcanine's going to shut it down easy. Even if it goes like, let's say even if, just pretend this is like a physical set. So like, imagine if, you know, maybe it could go for Sucker Punch or Knockoff. It's going to do nothing. So most of the time, Meowscarada is either going to swap or use U-turn. So it's not going to like versing a Fire-type Pokemon at all. And you've got a lot of moves you can hit it with as well. So you've got, you know, it learns Play Rough. You've got Flare Blitz. And you've got quite a bit of coverage there. So that wouldn't be definitely a great counter there. Any real bulky Pokemon and Tier 8 Pokemon will actually wreck Meowscarada. So I'd say this is... It's not a bad anti-lead, and it's not a bad little late-game sweeper as well. So if you play it right, it's definitely going to work out for you. And if you got like, let's say, if you got like a couple of entry hazards up on the field, like, as I mentioned before, you could use... We're going to go on some new Pokemon here. You've got Garganacl up there, which is like huge in defense and stuff like that. And very nice for actually swapping in there. I mean... We're not going to do a whole moveset on it, but yeah, if you've got something just like really tanky to swap into those fire-type moves, and you've got so many options. You've got Stealth Rock, and you've got like you've even got Salt Cure and stuff like that. So you could definitely use this to get around any fire types and stuff like that. And we've all discussed the other ones already. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the Meowscarada moveset. I hope you enjoyed this one, people. I tried to cover like a wide range of stuff in this short amount of time. Once again, if you've got anything you want to add to this, any other movesets you like or you've used, please leave them below in the comment section. I always read my comments, and I like to, you know, read over other people's movesets and stuff as well, see what sort of stuff you people have got planned for this Pokemon. Tonight, I'm going to be doing a triple upload too, so I'm going to be covering all the starters tonight. So next we'll do like... I think we might do the water starter after this. All right, we'll see. All right, that's enough, people, for today's video. Peace out.